Hello everyone, this is the 2021 LEGO Creator Safari Wildlife Treehouse. In this video, I'm going to focus on the main build option and give far less play to the, frankly, vastly inferior alternates. This is the build that includes the giraffe, and I'm going to go ahead and call this a reticulated giraffe in particular based on its general distribution of color. You know, you're not going to get it perfect in Lego form like this. I think that the designer actually did a pretty nice job here. I like the colors that were used, and I like the use of a little bit of curvature in some of the pieces, such as these ones used for the backs of the knees. You know, this could have been done as just regular plates with the squared edges. I like the hooves on this as well that use the BB9E headpieces unprinted there. And just overall, you know, for something that's actually fully brick built, I think this turned out quite nicely. The primary colors used here are dark orange and then flame yellowish orange or orangish yellow, the sort of school bus yellow color. The eye is printed. You get one of those on either side. And then there is just a little bit of dark brown for these antlers or antler analogs. And there is some articulation with this, obviously, because they have some single axis hinges used here with the clip style pieces. So you can get the head straight out. You can actually bring this down like so. Almost get down to the ground, and of course if you just move the legs out of the way you can do that fully, and then you have just that little bit of ankle articulation and the entire legs go forward and back a bit, so you can make this look like it's actually walking along to some degree, or maybe you know, have that on the ground and then have this reaching forward. Maybe something more like that could work, like that. You know, it's subtle movements I think that you need to use, subtle posing. There's not a tremendous range of motion. Of course, you also have the tail that can go up and down. But again, for something that's fully brick built, does not use super specialized pieces or anything, I'm happy with how this turned out overall. And I feel like it's a good inspiration for just making stuff with existing pieces. The treehouse itself is more house than tree, although if you turn this around to the side, you'll notice there's actually not that much house here either. It's not particularly deep. You've got a nice sizable roof, but it has a lot of overhang, a little bit towards the front and quite a lot towards the rear where there's this observation deck. I mean, there's quite a bit of deck space across the whole thing, but you also have this big couch over here. And then the tree portion down below is a little bit on the artificial side to me. I feel like that could have been built up with more pieces. It just looks more like a plinth. You know, it doesn't look like a particularly natural setting to me personally. One thing I do like nature-wise here is the inclusion of a couple of succulent plants. You know, this is intended to be an arid or semi-arid space where this is located, and it's nice to get that little bit of variation. You know, Lego doesn't do succulent plants all that frequently. They often try to go for very, very colorful stuff, and yes, these are flowering, which is nice, but you know, that sand green base and then just not the most bushy of leaves, I like. You know, I like to see something different like that. And then you got the olive green color used for the ground down here, a single stone. I do like that there is full access for a minifigure to actually get up to the second level. That's always a good thing and not something that they do frequently enough. And then once you get up to this level, there is plenty of space for them to be posed around the edges. I mean, not a tremendous amount, like there's only one stud of area right there at the corner, but I mean, you can pose a figure there, you know? I like the colors here. I like the overall design of this, but here you can see that, you know, there's actually not that much house to the tree house. A lot of it is just overhang. The roof is pretty sizable, and then you have this outdoor little observation lounge area with the couch, and then another overhanging area over here with a little banister off to the side. It's kind of short. My favorite thing here around the outside is definitely that print, though. This represents a photograph or a nice picture, you know, a nice painting. And it's just nice. You know, it's nice to get something different again. Lego doesn't give us too many different options for good wall decorations, I'd say. So that's a nice thing to get there as well. And then around this side, this is a device for measuring wind speed, I believe, that would just spin up for you. And there's also a small brick-built animal here. I don't know if that's supposed to represent a hummingbird or a hornbill or what, but whatever it is, it looks nice and is appropriate. Now, going to the main entrance, This explains a lot because clearly this is not actually a house. It's actually an outhouse. It's a tree outhouse. There's just a toilet inside with a roll of toilet paper even, which is kind of luxurious to consider for a safari little observation spot, and then a sink with a basin and a faucet and everything. So again, just super luxurious for the setting, but it's not a tree house. It's a tree outhouse with a couple of observation spots, a couple of balconies, and then an outdoor couch that's just sitting there. So that helps to explain things a lot. It's awkward, I have to say. It's weird, but that's what they did. Just to be clear here, there's nothing that I haven't shown you. You don't remove the roof. It's not designed to come off for easy access to more space or anything that was kind of hidden around the corner there. Nope. And there's nothing down below. The tree trunk doesn't open up or anything. So that is it. It's the couch. It's the ground with the two succulents, and it's the toilet. The last little build here is the pink flamingo. It's fairly tall, but not completely out of the range of reasonability, I think. This is a nice build, another nice build for a small, fully, properly brick-built creator style of animal. I think that it looks pretty good. I like the use of the hearts there for the wings on the sides. And this does suggest that there is at least a watering hole in the area, because that's what the medium azure is all about. These are the figures, one adult and one child. The adult is holding a piece of lettuce or something like that, I'm assuming, to feed off to the giraffe from a balcony off the side of the tree outhouse. The leg color on the left is medium blue, to be clear about that, and the leg color on the right is teal. Those are nice to get, I think. The prints look just fine to me, and we do have some alternate facial expressions underneath, like so, with a little bit of variety. Finally, here are the leftover pieces, and that's a pretty nice selection for this size of set. Taking this whole set apart and putting it back together 2 times, I know from experience now, would not be a good use of my time because of how few people watching this are actually interested in the alternate builds here. But I will talk about the alternate builds because we have very good views of everything that you do for them. This one, I think, is nice. I think this is a very worthy and proper an appropriate reuse of the pieces. It's a total transformation to get that biplane. I think that biplane looks fairly complete here. The lion looks kind of dog-like. It's definitely very caricatured there, very comic, very comical. But I like it. It's got some personality to it. The tree over here, as simple as it is, probably looks more tree-like than the one in the main build. It just looks more natural to me. And then using some of the extra white pieces to create a little bit of skeleton there, you get another small bird with cool coloration there. This is good. I'm happy with that. This one, sometimes these 3-in-1s give you one good build and then one okay build and then one so-so build. Some folks, of course, will like this, and that's great. I don't. Crocodile or alligator there, I get it. I like that bird, to be sure. The catamaran, it looks a little bit cobbled together. It's a good effort, though. I think another worthy total transformation of what was a tree outhouse set into something completely different, but I'm just not a big fan of this option myself. The best news I have for you is that this set cost me $30 US, not $40 US, in spite of the fact that it comes with essentially 400 pieces. So on a price to part ratio basis, this easily could have been sold at 35 to 40. And I think that 30 makes it a good value. If you can find this on sale eventually, then it'll be potentially a great value, actually. For this amount of stuff, I think that price is appropriate. Again, price to part ratio number looks very good on paper because it is. There are a lot of small pieces here, but not too many. And in spite of all the criticisms that I have for this, all the things that I was able to very easily nitpick about, I still feel happy when I look at this. This brings me joy, this entire scene, even though a lot of it doesn't make sense to me, and I do feel like a lot of it could have been better. There's enough here that is good. And again, just the colors and the overall setting, the giraffe, the succulents down there, the fact that you have access for the minifigs, it feels like the minifigs can really interact with this, even though it is just a toilet there, but at least around the outside, they can climb up there and feed the giraffe and look and take pictures and stuff. Even this, I don't know, just adds a little bit of extra life to the scene. So that's pretty good. And then at least one of the alternate builds, official alternate builds, looks really good to me and looks like it provides some proper alternate value or good additional value, for other things you can do. And this is clearly a pretty good parts pack. If you can change it that much, if you can make things that different with the pieces, and still have leftovers after that, because neither of those uses all of the pieces in the set, that's a good thing. So overall, I think this set is good, even though I had so many small particular issues with it. I think that it's done pretty well and is a good value and is just good generally speaking. So thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about this. I don't have a speed build or regular pure build for this one in particular because I did this as a live build with chat, but I will continue to do pure builds and speed builds for most of the sets that I review. So if you still like that type of content, I will continue to bring you more of it on those respective channels. I will talk to you again soon, so thanks for watching.